Hello Aquarius, welcome. Thank you for coming back. If you're a returning subscriber, if you're new to the channel, thank you for coming. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe. So bottom of the deck is Sagittarius IUs, and aspects of that are coming in for you in your chart this month. What I'm seeing here is that this is Sagittarius IC. This is about having faith and applying lessons and wisdom that you have gained, wisdom from lessons that you have been involved in over the years. So this is about applying that knowledge now. You may also have a lucky breakthrough of some kind. But certainly it really is applying what you've already learned and seeing what needs to be done, and then applying those that wisdom so that you can reap benefits from it. This is also about learning new things, and that can apply in a number of arenas for you. It could be technology, it could just be learning in general, but learning is coming up, and also the truth. So whether this is you speaking your truth, or you finding or discovering your truth, or working out what is actually working for you and what isn't, and therefore it becomes a truth. This is very much about that as well. It could also be that it's coming up. We'll get to this later, but you'll see that you need to be really, really careful about your communication at this time, because Sagittarians, they can sometimes just say something, blurt something out. It's the truth, and it needs to be said. However, it can come across as it can really put people off, or it can come across as very hurtful to others, or just be saying something out of turn, so completely tactless as well. So be very careful this month what you say and when you say it. Really going to be hugely important. This card also brings in a desire for freedom of some kind. So you could be changing things up, or you could be presented with new opportunities which then give you more freedom, or you could be with you've got Saturn coming up in your chart quite a bit with that. This is about making better choices, and therefore freedom from that, however difficult the choices may be. Okay, so it's about finding that freedom. It's also be careful with your money expenditure at this time, because another aspect of Sagittarius can be overspending, or sort of overindulging in things, and you may need to just be prudent at this time with certain aspects if you can. All right, so in the first house we have Mercury retrograde reinvention. This is one of the communication cards I was talking about. So with this card coming in, this is it's going to come in for you during the course of this month. Whether it will cover the entire month, I don't think so. I think it's probably more than likely a week or so, or maybe a little bit longer, like 10 days or so, where you will be having experiencing this. So then you're just going to have to watch the energies, see how things are going for you, and I think you will know, you will be able to pick it up when there's a turn for the better. But basically this is about unforeseen changes, unknown or unpredictable energy, and also unexpected things occurring. So what you may say, or what you may intend, may not be interpreted that way at all. All right, so the chances of being misunderstood or misinterpreted at this time is very strong. So now the first house is your house of yourself. It's also about your physical body, your vitality, your life force. So all those internal things, but it's also how you are projecting yourself to others, how you are coming across to others, how you are making your way forward in the world. So it's your personal independence, your day-to-day interactions, and how you're moving through the world at this time. So it's internal, it's also your physical body, it's your personality, your characteristics and so on, what people are seeing, what you're projecting, but it's also your own personal self-oriented interests as well, and how you are manifesting those at this time. So with this card, as I said, the chances of being misunderstood or misinterpreted are very high during this period, which will occur at some point during this month. So it's very much, be very, very careful with all written documents and contracts at this time. Check, double check, triple check, because the chances of there being mistakes or errors or something being overlooked or not clearly understood or misinterpreted are very high again. Back up all your devices, all technology, back everything up. Because, you may lose data, you may lose something, there's a whole range of possibilities. Something could just bomb, and then, you lose various things. You don't have access to it for a number of days. So just back up all your technology. This card can bring in delays and cancellations as well. So something that you were planning or something that you were intending to do, just doesn't happen for whatever reason. But it's very much a going back to the drawing board card. It's about whatever try not to initiate big important actions or new things at this time, or signing of things at this time. So try and put it off until the energies have shifted. And that is very good, actually, an opportunity for you to look at whatever it is that you were planning to do or you're intending to do, looking at it again. So this is review, revise, rewrite, reinvent. Anything with a re in front of it, okay, is appropriate during Mercury retrograde. So, and I just want to point out that the word reinvent or words associated with that is very highly indicated in just about every aspect of your chart this month. So this is very much a theme for you this month. So it's a very good time to go back to the drawing board, to revise what you were doing, to go over everything again with a fine-tooth comb to make quite sure that what you are saying and what you're intending there is the correct thing. And it may take more than one draft to get it right. But with this energy that this card brings in, it does really create the opportunity to produce something much better than the original draft. Okay, so it's a very good time to go over this again and produce something much better. Avoid making electronic or big purchases. Purchasing of electronics or big purchases of any kind, because the chances of it not working or something happening with it or just not functioning correctly are quite strong. Also things like car services, try and put off until the energies have shifted if possible, because Mercury rules vehicles as well. So, but it's a really great time for meditation, for contemplation, for revising your plans, as I said, or reviewing things, really looking at things from all different angles, weighing things up. It's a very, very good time for that, great time for meditation, or even to go on some sort of time out where you spend time in contemplation. Mercury retrograde can also bring people from the past back into your life. So this could be a variety of people, but it can also bring a lover from the past, somebody that you were deeply connected with at some point may sort of appear back in your life again. And there is an opportunity there to reconnect with them at a much deeper or more fulfilling level as well, whether it's permanent or just passing through. However, whatever is appropriate for you, your higher self will always guide you in that. Then in the second house, we have your destiny. So the second house is your house of your income, the money that's coming in, how that's coming into you, the methods and so on, how you're earning it. It's also the house of self-worth, your self-worth, and also your values, what you value in yourself, what you value in others, and your value systems. So this can be ownership of all kinds, possessions, what you possess, and your views of the ownership thereof. So with your destiny coming, and this is a testing time for you right now. This is a card of destiny. It's about, it's about sort of plowing your own way through things. You're not going to get input and advice or support from others right now, and you don't actually need it. It's not appropriate, because this is a period of contemplation where you go inward to actually consult your inner GPS, to actually find out for yourself what is the way forward. You actually do know what is the way forward. You simply have to plot it. And it's a case of navigation through various situations that are going on, navigating for yourself, finding your own truth and finding which path is right for you. Okay, so it's follow your own inner guidance now. You know, as I said, you're not going to get advice or help from others, and you may also feel out of step with others. You may feel different, or just going off in your own direction, and there's nobody else with you, or nobody else joining in with you at this time. But that's appropriate, as I said. You may, if it's a family thing, you may feel sort of like a bit like a black sheep, like you're doing something very differently from the rest, and you're just going to feel out of step from others right now. But it's appropriate, and just follow your own inner GPS, and just trust that things will all work out as they're supposed to, because it's a destiny card. Okay, so things are going to work out as they're supposed to. You just have to navigate and do your very best to make your way through the situations, whatever is occurring, and find your own path. There are fated circumstances around, so you're not going to be able to force issues, but you do know what to do, and you're going to have to be inventive. This word keeps coming up again. Yeah, it's a time of increased awareness, but it's inner awareness as well, and it's finding solutions to certain things. There's pioneering involved, if that is appropriate for you as well. So this, as I said, it seems to me to be mostly money related or income related, but it can also be dealing with possessions and your own self-worth to do with that as well, finding your own truth. Then in the third house, we have void, of course, moon missing. So the third house is your house of your communication. So all forms of communications, written, verbal, body language. This house also covers all documents and contracts. It also covers communications with people around you directly, but also with wider audiences, the public, and so on. So whatever platform is right for you. But it can also be to specific family members, so relatives, but also aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, and even neighbors. Neighbors fall in under this as well. The third house does also cover short journeys, short trips, local trips as well, if that is appropriate for you. But with this card coming in, it's basically when the moon changes sign, you know, from one to the other house, you know, it's moving from one area to another. It goes quiet during that transition. And so while it's doing that, you know, you don't have the moon's wisdom at your fingertips at that time. So basically what it's saying is, so this will occur during the course of this month. So it's basically just saying, stay as you are for now. So let whatever's going around, whatever dramas are going around you, or whatever storm is passing over you, just let it resolve itself. Let matters settle or blow over. Don't initiate actions, new actions at this time. You're going to get unpredictable results or wrong results. So leave anything new or untried until energies have shifted. So just stay silent, stay you know, on your normal routine, do what you would normally do, and just use this as a sort of a rest or a pause period in which you are formulating. So you're thinking about things, dreaming, planning, and so on, but don't initiate right now. Don't lend money to people at this time. And if you are sort of going on a short trip of some kind, you might just find that there's a delay or a frustration of some kind that comes up with that. So again, wait until the energies have shifted before you undertake that at this time. So it just looks like in general, communications and dealing with certain things just may not work out for you at certain times, and just be aware of that, and rather wait until the energies have shifted, especially if you need to initiate some important discussion or contract or paperwork at this time. Then in the fourth house, we have Saturn return age. So fourth house is your house of it's your house of home and also family. So it's your home, your physical structure where you are actually living. It's also the atmosphere in the home and the people in your home. But it can also be to do with your relationship with your family, your roots, your foundation, your ancestry, your ethnic identity, whatever is appropriate for your ancestry. You know, anything of where you have come from, where you have emerged from, the family structure. So with this card, this is Saturn does a big revolution right around your chart. Most people see 2 in a lifetime, sometimes 3, but normally 2. One at the age of about 29 and one at the about 58, between 58 and 60. So depending on where you are in life, but it's the energy that this card brings in, which is basically learning from the past. Okay, looking back so that you can move forward. So you don't live in the past. What you do is you look back and you observe it in a sort of a clinical way, what worked, what didn't, what you were supposed to do, what you haven't done, and what you would like to do, and so on. So it's a case of looking back so that you can move forward, learning from the past, applying the lessons that you learned from the past and applying them now to your situation. This is a facing it card, so face what must be done at this time. You're going to have to face it full on, and the energy that comes with this card is release and redirect. Then in the 5th house we have Uranus Genius. So 5th house is your house of your personal creativity, and this may really give you an incredible boost right now. If you use creativity a lot in your home life or in your life in general, if it's part of your actual profession, well, you're going to get a massive boost. But don't forget that creativity we use all the time in every way. It's not necessarily artistic. It can be the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you interact with your children, the way you raise your children, the way you dress your home, just being generally creative in all aspects of your life. So creativity is indicated in this house, also your children or children that you are associated with at this time. So all aspects of that. It's also the house of love affairs, and it's the house of recreation and fun, all pleasurable activities of all kinds, all recreational activities. So this can be sport as well, and club activities and so on. So with Uranus Genius coming in, this is bringing unexpected change for you. Uranus is like a bolt of lightning, so it's a shock or a surprise of some kind. It can cause upheaval, and then once through that upheaval, it can be very disconcerting initially and confusing, but once you get past that and you now assess what needs to be done, then you can move forward on a new path. This brings in ingenuity and innovation, which we've already mentioned before. We mentioned reinvention, being inventive. So this is ingenuity and innovation, which is part of the creativity. So you're going to get a massive boost in that. So you may just have sudden insight in some way, or a brilliant idea may come to you. So it's a download of some kind, because Uranus is like that. Uranus literally opens your mind. You get an awakening of some kind. So it's a sudden insight or a sudden realization, a brilliant idea, or it could even be a discovery of some kind. Okay. It can involve technology, because Uranus rules advanced tech. It could even just be an upgrade for you. But it can also cover space, research, science, anything to do with that. Uranus can also bring in unusual or exotic people into your environment. So unusual, they will be unusual, or they could be a different sexual orientation to yourself, or they're just different. They're just very different in some way, or exotic. And they think differently, they live differently, and you're going to be learning and understanding them better, and they're going to be you're going to be interacting with them in some way. As I said, this could also be to do with your children. Perhaps your children are bringing these people in, or perhaps they are exercising their own particular originality, innovation, ingenuity, and so on. Or perhaps they're involved in technology and science in some way. This card can also bring in changes in lifestyle, and it can be quite radical. A change in lifestyle. It could be more bohemian, more relaxed, or it could be more outdoorsy or more close to nature, or however it applies for you. But this is generally this card generally covers intuition, intelligence, and originality. It can also cover aspects like autism as well. So see how that works out for you in this house. Then in the 6th house, we have Gemini, I think. 6th house is your house of work, workplace, work colleagues. It can also be your work routines. It's mastery of your craft that comes into this house. It's also your house of health and diet and your lifestyle around that. And it's also the house of pets. So with this card coming in, this is very mental energy. It's all about the intellect and the mental faculties. It's about being versatile, quick-witted, humor comes in here as well. All forms of intellect coming in. It's also the exchange of ideas. Invention comes up yet again. You could also be being talked about at this time. Maybe you're being discussed by others right now. Or you may have to talk your way out of a tricky situation. Because the Gemini does have the element of being tricky, the trickster. It's ruled by Mercury. So tricky circumstances or deception sometimes can even come in. But it's usually tricky circumstances coming up. So just be aware of that. Be aware of gossip. Be very careful with that, because as I mentioned earlier, your communication side is going through some sort of, there's various aspects going on, and you just need to be really, really careful what you say or what you pass on or what you discuss. Just opt out of it altogether at this time. Be very careful with your communications at this time with this card. Pay attention. This is the other aspect of this. Pay attention, because you need to apply your mental faculties at this time. So really pay attention. Don't get distracted, and stay focused on what it is you do, because the Geminis are so full of energy, and their mind goes in a million different ways. When it's coming up in your workhouse, you really need to focus. Yes, you do need to be versatile, but you need to focus as well. This card also brings in learning. Geminis love to learn. So this could be, you could be learning something new in your profession or your job, or it could be technology that you're learning. Anything to do with technology comes in with Gemini as well. And this could be online as well. So coming back to the communication, you may have to explain yourself, or you may have to explain something as well. That can come in with this. When it comes to health and diet and lifestyle, really with the Gemini energy coming in, because it's fast moving, it's quick, and there's lots going on, lots of mental energy, you might find that you're really high, have a tendency to be highly strung, or you're just feeling strung out in general, or you're suffering from nervous conditions of all kinds. So just be aware of that and take steps to address that in some way, a healthy way to address it. Then in the 7th house, we have a lovely card. 7th house is your house of relationships. So this is a close personal love relationship, one-on-one, or it could be a business partnership, or it could be some other close personal one-on-one relationship at this time. So now earlier on I mentioned with Mercury retrograde coming in that you may have a lover from the past coming in again, or it could be somebody that you were close to coming back in again. And this card can also bring it in. So it's a double whammy coming in for you now. With Jupiter return, it is a return, and this does a revolution around your chart about every 12 years or so. So it could be someone or something that you were involved with, but should normally be someone that is coming back from about 10 to 12 years ago. They could be coming back into your life. Usually when these things come back into your life, whether it's someone or something, it usually comes back with benefits of some kind. It bears fruit, whatever went down at that time. So possibly, if it was a relationship, as I said, it could be a business partnership that you were involved in, it may not have worked at that time. So the timing was off, or it got put aside, or it got shelved, or it just didn't work, it didn't come off in some way. Or it just died off, and it never came to fruition. But it could very well come back round again, and bear fruit this time in whatever way that is for you. But it's a very beneficial card. It brings in gifts and rewards. If this is to do with a significant person, then they could be really bringing you a benefit of some kind, or whatever it was that went down at that time has now matured and is now bringing something back. It's almost like a resurrection, but it will be very good, whatever it is. If that is not necessarily applying, then Jupiter return generally brings a period where blocks that you have been facing in these close personal relationships or business partnership, blocks will be lifted. So it's the yes card, it's the go for it card. Dreams can manifest with this card. It's rapid. So whatever comes in, whatever opportunity comes in or comes back to you at this time, grab it and move with it as quickly as you can, because it's a rapid energy. It's not a long-lasting, slow, evolving energy. This is rapid, quick. So as soon as it comes up, grab it, follow it, and see where it takes you. It's a very flirtatious card. This it can bring in lovers of all kinds. It can bring in generosity, expansion of all kinds, positivity. It's also about giving gratitude or receiving gratitude as well. The other side of this lovely card is also overindulgence or being complacent about things, because energy is so good and things are feeling so good that you kind of take a back seat about stuff. Well, no. You can't do that. You need to grab the opportunities and actually anchor them down. You need to bring them home. And then just be careful of the overindulgence side as well. You could be having such a great time with this person that you're just spending money and enjoying loads of luxuries and things, which is, it's just fine. Just keep it in check. Then in the 7th house, we have Neptune sacrifice. So, in the 8th house we have Neptune sacrifice. 8th house is your house of sexuality and all issues around that, whether you are having sex or no sex or lots of sex or strange sex, whatever. 8th house covers any kind of sex, but it's also the sexual commitment in a deeper partnership. It's also the merging of your emotional and your material resources in a relationship. Whether this is a love partnership, so it's a committed partnership, or it can be in a business partnership. So either way, but it's also about big finance, so accounting, banking, investments, insurances, taxes, assets, inheritances, legacies, anything like that. So it covers all of that. It also covers other people's resources. So you may be involved in that in some way as a profession, or it could be to do with this other person or this business that you're involved in, handling other people's resources. But it's also the house, the 8th house can be an endings and a beginnings house. It covers birth of things, also the death of things, whether it's more than likely an ego death of some kind. So with this card coming in, the rose-tinted spectacles need to come off, all right, because you can wear rose-tinted spectacles with Neptune around. It brings in this beautiful, lovely sort of fantasizing illusions type of energy, where things look amazing and they feel amazing. You're getting lots of downloads, lots of imagination, divine, almost like divine downloads and interactions with the divine and universal consciousness and all that. It's wonderful for that. But also the other side of it is it can bring in, a time where you just need to really stay grounded and be clear about everything, because there's mystery and illusion around with this card. So be very clear about everything. Everything you say, everything you do must be clear. Sweep away any illusions that you may have at this time, and really focus on what is clear. Make things clear. It could also be that, with this card, sometimes escapism can come in, where you've just had enough of everything. You just need to escape, which is also fine, but it can also bring in self-undoing or self-sabotage in some way. So too much escapism brings in addiction or self-undoing. It can also bring a disappointment as well. But you can always overcome that. You can always reach for something better, but you may have to just go through that at some point. Or you may have to make a sacrifice for the greater good in some way. If you're merging with another in a partnership or a relationship, there may be some things you have to let go of in order to bring that relationship into being. Because with Neptune, if it's a deep, very special, significant other in your life, they could be the love of your life, and therefore you want to make this work. But it also has the possibility of being having illusionary qualities about it as well. So you need to be able to discern that for yourself. It's discernment, this card. It's also, as I said, there may be confusing or deceptive circumstances going on at this time. So be clear, keep yourself grounded, and look at things from a clear perspective. This card can bring in a lot of artistic inspiration. As I said, the film industry may be indicated at this time because it rules the film industry. So possibly you're involved in that from a financial point of view, or you're involved in it somehow, handling other people's resources in that way. It's, as I said, it's about universal consciousness. These are the two sides of Neptune. Then in the 9th house, we have air element communicating. So the 9th house is the house of all things international. So that's international travel, international concepts, international relations. So this could be anything foreign, dealing with anything foreign, foreign people, foreign cultures, foreign beliefs, foreign methods, import, export, anything like that. It's also the house of further education and study. So this is university level or adult education. So you may be contemplating a university education right now, and it's the exploration of that. What am I going to do? How am I going to formulate it? Where am I going to study? And so on. It's also about understanding the deeper aspects of philosophy, religion, and belief systems. So you could be contemplating one of those as a form of study, or just understanding it for yourself, or being involved in some way, perhaps through your church or so, or however it's applying for you. It's the search for meaning and purpose. There's a lot of faith and wisdom that comes into this house as well. It's also the house of teaching, the house of publishing, and promotional work or PR work of all kinds. It's also the house of the law and the higher courts. Whether you're studying that or whether you're involved in a legal case of some kind, that may come in for you. So with this card coming in, communication is hugely important right now. So it's all forms of communication coming in for you. So words are going to be really important, whether you're applying for something or you're getting what you want down in words, or you're perhaps speaking to others, or you're writing, or you're publishing, whatever it is for you. So think things through right now with this. This is a thinking card. Apply logic. Always aim for clarity, use your reasoning abilities, and put into words everything that you want and expect. So this could be a CV, or it could be, something that you're applying for, a course of study, or something that you want to apply for, or as I said, you could be writing in some way. It's about being inventive and using your ingenuity. Again, this word keeps coming up. It's also a card of ambition, so going after what you want. Air travel is most certainly indicated with this. This is more than likely international air travel of some kind, but it's a long journey, and it requires planning. This is not going to be something that you just do, like you normally do. This is unusual in some way, and it requires planning. You may be visiting mountainous areas. You may be visiting cultural or educational places right now. This card can also bring in news of some kind. So maybe you're waiting for a result, or you're waiting for an application, the result of an application, or you're waiting for news, or just something coming to you, normally which would have an international aspect to it. But it's the receiving of news. It's the it's the reception of that, or it could be something to do with a legal case that you're involved in. And that may be coming into you right now. This card is also the card of manifestation. So what you think and what you say at this time is very, very important. So make sure that what you think and what you say is positive. Only positive self-talk and talking to others, positive things, positive affirmations and so on, because that is what you will manifest. This card also covers all aspects of science, music, and technology, which may be appropriate for you. Then in the 10th house, we have Saturn Truth. So this house is the house of career. It's the house of fame, reputation, and your public status. And it's also the house of authority figures, all forms of authority figures, which can be the law, the police, military. Any one of those aspects may come in for you at this time. It could also be an authority figure as in a mentor or a teacher or a guru or somebody that you're learning from at this time. They could be quite a taskmaster. So they're not going to let you get away or let you slack off. This could be a very structured, very wise person, but a bit of a taskmaster as well. But you will learn a lot during this period from this person, if that's applicable for you. Or it could be a father in your home. It's an authority figure of some kind, and it's somebody that you look up to or has authority over your course in life, what you're moving towards. There's power and control with this card as well. This card is about building foundations, it's about having patience, and it's about age issues as well. So this is gaining of wisdom, looking back so that you can move forward. It's also about you may be dealing with a very wise person, or you may be gaining wisdom through somebody or some course of action that you're taking in this house, but it's a slow-moving energy. This is about building really strong foundations. Anything that's wobbly or not will fall away. Saturn will pull it down. So whatever goes, let it go, because it probably wasn't standing strong to begin with. Things may be very difficult for you right now, but they will get better. You just have to apply Saturn, which is hard work, and being realistic about your goals, being realistic about what you can achieve right now, and really applying yourself in all ways to make this come about. So look at everything very carefully, assess everything, and build on solid foundations. You may get the feeling that time is running out as well. That can come in sometimes with this, because this rules time, Saturn rules time. Or you may be feeling very restricted right now. But it will get better, but you have to apply the Saturn, the Saturn energies, which is, total application, goal-oriented, and also, doing away with what is not working for you at this time. Facing the truth of situations as well. Okay, so there's an element of karma, there's an element of correction going on. It's the long game, and also some financial situations may come up, like taxes and so on as well. May feature somehow in this. Then in the 11th house we have Capricorn IUs. The 11th house is your house of your friendships. It's also the house of your contacts and networks, and it's the house of your personal wishes, hopes and dreams, and your hobbies and interests. Okay, it's also the house of global consciousness, group consciousness, or social reform and causes associated with that, which may be close to your heart at this time. But groups of all kinds are indicated. It's also the house of trends, social trends, trends in society, or trends in technology, or whatever it is that if you're tracking trends, then this is the house, 11th house. So with Capricorn IUs, this is a resourceful energy. IUs, that's exactly what it's about. So it's about making the best of each situation. All right. So whether that's a personal contact or a friendship or a network or a group that you're perhaps a member of. So this can be like a society or an association or a club even. It's about ambition. It's about building and development. It's about growth in status. That's what this card brings in. You need to be very systematic with this. There's slow progress and no shortcuts with this card, but you need to be resourceful. Also with Capricorn, fairness, rules, and you have to follow those fairness and rules in order to get the right result. It's also a card of loyalty, and it's about moving forward, but with determination. You may be meeting very powerful people at this time, and those are the ones you want to harness in some way to assist you as you go along, but particularly in your perhaps in your career, or just in making contacts in general. Then in the 12th house, we have Jupiter Abundance, lovely card coming in here. So 12th house is the house of your unconscious, your drives and motivations. All of these things may not necessarily be known to you, but they're kind of, you feel them, right? It's your internal, this is your internal world. It's also the house of where you go to retreat, where you go to reflect and withdraw. And if you go on a yoga retreat, or you go on some kind of retreat, then you really are accessing 12th house tools, okay, which is the unconscious self. It's also the house of your spiritual life, your meditation, your mysticism, and your healing. It's the house of escapism and drugs of all kinds. So escapism is fine, but when you take it too far, then it becomes addiction of some kind. So there's that element to it. It's the house of service, selfless service to others. So you may be in a service industry, or you may be in a helping profession where you help others in some way. Lots of doctors and nurses and things sometimes, can quite often have a very strong 12th house. It's also the house of karmic lessons coming in, and it's the house of meeting twin flames. So that may be appropriate for you, because somebody came up from before and is sort of coming into your 7th house. So you may be meeting somebody who is very significant in your life. Whether it's a twin flame or not is going to be up to you to decide, but it is a possibility. But nonetheless, certainly an important person could come into your life right now. So with Jupiter Abundance, this is the time to, of receiving divine help. All right, rescue, relief. You could also be receiving faith and strength at this time to get through different things. It's also about being lucky, or having a lucky breakthrough, overcoming blocks. It's about staying attentive and positive about your goals, all right, which I mentioned before. Be attentive and positive because you have the manifestation card with you right now. So be attentive and positive about your goals. Don't neglect these goals. Don't let them fall by the wayside. You must have a form of determination in order to make them happen. Because remember what I said, Jupiter is a rapid energy. It comes in. So whatever comes up, whatever you feel, whatever an opportunity comes to you, grab it quickly. Seize the moment, seize the day. This card is a blessings card. It can also bring in purpose. It can bring in aspecting the higher mind, which is entirely appropriate for the 12th house, which is the house of the unconscious. It's also about learning and teaching. So you may be on the receiving end of that, or you may be doing that for others at this time. So it's a really lovely card. It's a very optimistic card, but it could also just be certainly divine intervention or divine help at this time with certain things. Or you could be passing that on. You could be tapping into that and using that to help others. With this card, sometimes it can also bring up sort of tendencies about being overbearing with your opinions or being opinionated, or overconfident about. Okay, Aquarius, I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe, and have a great month, and take care, and I will see you next time.